Hi everybody, here we are for the last video for Thursday, January the 7th. And what I want to talk about for this last part is in reference to email style and tone. And that comes at us from page 194, everybody. I talk a lot about when you're writing the style that you're going to use and the tone that you're going to use within your email. And I just want to give you a quick definition of tone as it relates to business writing. And I'm pulling this definition out of chapter 4. Business style, word choice, conciseness, and tone. We talked about that in COM 140, but on the left-hand side of that page 132, they give us a textbook definition of tone as it relates to writing. Okay, so tone by definition is the implied attitude of the author to the subject and the reader as reflected by your word choice. Okay, so let's take that and let's put it into chapter 6 here when we're talking about email style and tone. And a lot of success with emails being answered, being read, comes down to the style and tone that you, as the writer, are choosing to use in the message that you're wanting to convey. Okay, so when we're talking about email style and tone, everybody, bottom of page 194, it makes a statement, everybody, right off the bat about your personal and professional image. So what is that image that you are wanting to convey to the audience, right, to the reader? So it comes down to the style and tone that you use when we're talking about emails as it relates to communication, everybody. So moving on to page 195. They give you some guidelines to keep in mind when we're talking about email style and tone, and you can certainly take a look at those. Reply as promptly as possible, protecting and respecting authorship, avoid indiscriminatory or indiscriminately forwarding emails to other individuals, okay, all reflective of the style and tone that you use. When you are emailing myself or any of the other instructors, keep that in mind. The style and tone that you're using reflects a lot not only on yourself but also on the program. So start thinking of it from a business perspective. Place yourself into some sort of business and how is it that you are wanting to come across in the message that you are sending. You will find that you will have a lot of success, especially with myself, if you approach your emails from a very professional perspective. Okay. Hello, Linda. How are you? That sort of thing. And then going into the topic that you're wanting to discuss in an email and ending it accordingly. Okay, so some of the things that you need to keep in mind. The textbook then goes on to talk a little bit about routine messages. Top of page 196, everybody. What is a routine message? What do we need to keep in mind when we're putting these together? Positive, informative messages, memos, that sort of thing. You can certainly go ahead and take a look at those from the perspective that the author is trying to relate to you. And then on page 199, they talk a little bit about goodwill emails. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with that and what is goodwill. Goodwill, by definition, at the bottom of that page 199, is a message that enhances the value of a business beyond its tangible assets by creating this bond of friendship, everybody, and establishing trust and mutual understanding between the writer and the recipient or the reader. Okay, so it is that bond of friendship and establishing trust. That's really what you want to do in the business world today, and especially as it relates to communications. It's all about making those connections and having those bonds of friendship extend further. Okay, they go on to talk a little bit at the end of that chapter about follow-up, memos and emails. What does that look like? And you can certainly go ahead and take a look at that, everybody. So chapter 6 really, in a nutshell, what is it all about? Okay, so it's all about these memos, emails, putting them all together, the level of professionalism that you must have, the style and tone that you take to putting these messages together, and what do they look like, right? Etiquette, um, make sure that you follow that etiquette, those guidelines, those rules that have been sort of put out into place. Because at the end of the day, everybody, when you are writing something, you are writing it because you want to have the recipient or the reader take a look at what you've written and say, oh, yes, that's right. He's got a point. We need to action this. We need to move on this, versus this lengthy email that comes through and somebody just pushes it off to the side of their desk because they don't have time to go through it all. Okay, so keeping in mind, everybody, the level of professionalism that we must exhibit from a business perspective when we're putting those memos together. Remember, it's the to, from, date, and subject. With emails, right? Make sure that you've got that email address correct. Use a subject line that is relevant to the information that you are sharing so that I know when that email comes through, this is what student A is wanting to talk about, versus me having to go through the email trying to figure out exactly what it is you are wanting to say. Okay, so memorandums, email, and routine messages, everybody, take a look at that. Make sure you read through the chapter, some great tips that are in there that you need to make sure that they stay sort of forefront in your mind, so that as you move through this course and as you move through this program, writing this kind of stuff is not going to be a problem for you. So we're wanting to lay that foundation, get you into that mindset, and I hope that chapter 6 has started to put that into perspective for you. That's all that I have for this particular recording. This is recording 3. So make sure that you take a look at this, and we will meet live in class in our virtual classroom on Tuesday, January the 12th. So I wish you all a pleasant evening and a great weekend, and I will see you back here on Tuesday. Thank you.